Let's start with the question. Elemental damage versus weapon type damage. I have collected a number of higher damage weapons which all seem to be based on light damage, such as the Durandal. But I've also found that most animals are resistant to this damage type. Here is a Vortooth, as an example. I've put in some example weapons too for each scenario from my collection of weapons. As I see it, I have 4 options in this scenario. Downgrade my weapon, to use a weapon which is the correct type, but not element. E.g. Drain Lance 3. 195. Use the right type of weapon, but the wrong element, e.g. Radiant Lance. 205. Light right weapon and element, e.g. I don't have a Fire Lance. The right element, but wrong type. Least likely. Flame Tongue Sword. 117. Fire A. More challenging example might be a Marshmallow. My question is, will using a higher damage weapon type of the wrong element, case 2, yield higher DPS than using a lower damage weapon of the correct type and element, case 1 or 3? So how can we solve this? There's one possible answer. Answer 1. In my experience, your best option is to choose a weapon to avoid resistances, then seek weaknesses. If an enemy is weak against one aspect of your weapon, but resistant to the other, the resistance overrides the weakness and you will suffer a damage penalty. For your example, the Vortooth is weak against spears, shields, and ice, but resistant to holy and fire. You will get a damage bonus if you attack it with spears and shields unless they are fire or holy ice weapons of any kind. Since the Vortooth has no resistances to weapon types, you will get a damage penalty if you attack it with holy weapons of any kind, even spears and shields, fire weapons of any kind, even spears and shields, since you'll get a damage penalty of roughly 50%. With the Radiant Lance, you're better off switching to the Drain Lance, even though it has a lower power, if you have no available weapons which will not have a penalty. Such as in the case of the Red Giant. Use Royal Arms and/or Armiger, which deal full damage to all enemies. I hope this answer helped, and if it did, please drop a comment and subscribe.